Hello, lovely friends. I'm back. Sort of back with my back. Oh, I forgot to plug my iron in. Hang on. Oh look, it's a long way down. There we go. Unusually, I've actually got my laundry basket up on the chair to save me from bending. Right, let that get warm. What a to-do with this silly old back. It's Thursday today, you will see this on Friday. I tweaked my back last Tuesday, 10 days ago. I'm well and truly over it. I'm not over it quite. It's much better. Look, it was not a big deal. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. It's just a temporary little muscular thing. I'll get over it. It will happen again, no doubt, in a couple of years' time down the line. I know from some of your comments, loads of us do this over the stupidest thing. Someone was saying picking up a bottle of shampoo, moving a pair of shoes, making the bed. It's not a big deal. It was ridiculously painful, but I knew it would be a passing thing. I wasn't worried about it at all. It's just that it was boring. Frustrating because the weather's been gorgeous. I've missed all this gorgeous weather. Look, in that first week, on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it was pretty rubbish. It was pretty bad, my back. I really went so slowly, just didn't do anything. And I hate not being productive. By the Friday, it felt better. And I thought, I want to get moving a bit. I want to go for a really gentle walk up and down my high street. Do a few errands, more of that in a second. Saturday, I thought the same. I thought, great. I had a load of stuff to upload to get into my shop. I was taking loads of photographs. I did a load of photographing for eBay, photographing for stock, which isn't going to be appearing in the shop anytime soon. Anyway, really busy Saturday, mostly photographing and doing uploady stuff. Got to about 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, stood up for a break. I'd been standing up every sort of half an hour or so. When I stood up that time, the pain was unbearable. So, basically pretty much Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in bed. Just couldn't move, it was awful. But yesterday, much better. Today, better still. Of course, it's gorgeous and the temptation is to run off to the garden, but I will absolutely not be doing that quite yet. Like I said in that previous video, I think it would be really easy for me I need to get on with ironing. Just move this. My lovely little foxy cushion from the shed, where I've got my bags of onions hanging. I've brought the last of my onions home now. One of them, there was an onion on the back that I couldn't see, that I'd obviously not been squishing regularly enough. It started to rot and it dripped. And it was a horrible big stain, actually, and it washed out, which is great. But in the process, I don't know if you can see. Let me sec. See that? That's her nose. I need to sew her nose back on. So she's on the sewing pad. I'm not going to throw her nose because I'll lose it. So just to very quickly finish with the silly back thing. In previous years, it's by the time I get back to the garden, I think it's going to be at least 2 weeks since I was down there to do anything. I think normally I would kind of be freaking out a bit that I can't afford to lose 2 weeks at this time of year. But I'd worked really hard and got so much done that in this last couple of weeks I've sort of just said to myself, you know what, Vivi, don't stress about it. You'll get it done when you get it done. And I think probably, despite these 2 weeks off, I think I'm probably still ahead this year of where I was last year. So, you know what? Stressing about it wouldn't do it any good, would it? I'm just going to get the iron going with a handkerchief. I don't know why. I've got some linens to press today. And whenever I'm doing them, whenever I put the iron down for the first time, I always want to do it on something that's not precious. I don't know why. I did, right, this iron. Okay, just as a warning, because I know I absolutely freak people out when I'm ironing. I get this kind of comments and messages every time. People freak out that I'm going to burn something, because quite often I put the iron down, I stand back, I'm chatting, I go off across the room, come back. I'm not going to leave it long on this one because it's very fine cotton. But yeah, people freak out that I'm going to burn the fabric. No, trust me, two things. I've been doing this a very long time. I know what I'm doing when it comes to pressing. Touch wood. No, let's touch some proper wood. I've never scorched a piece of fabric. This iron is very old. Me and this iron have been working together for 36 years. So I know this iron. It's inside, well, not inside out, I've never taken it apart, but I know this iron very, very well. When it's on the different heat settings, I know what it's sort of capable of and what it will do. So yeah, please don't stress when I'm ironing and it looks like I'm leaving the iron down too long. Also, I don't iron on a really hot setting. I'll always iron when things come out, so all of this stuff is damp. The wash, sorry, just had a sniff. I don't know if it's steam coming off this. I'm not getting another cold, I can't be. Yeah, I usually iron when things are damp out of the washing machine. This lot, I think the wash finished about an hour ago, but they've sat in the machine, so they haven't started to dry at all. But even so, I always start my pressing with one of my own pieces. One of my very, very, very tired Liberty hankies that I've had for absolutely, I've got to get this right on the bottom rung now. Do you know what? No, I don't. I'm going to put it over here instead. Yeah, I do love my Liberty hankies. So, in amongst all of this back nonsense, which I've got to say, for the most part, has been boring, on the Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, I put myself to bed. It's not something I normally recommend. You know, I mean, I was even saying last week, I'll keep moving, I'll keep doing my stretches. But it got to the point where I just wasn't comfortable in any position other than lying. If I sat down, I mean, within minutes, you know, within sort of 3 or 4 minutes of sitting down, it was just too much. So I stand up and I sort of stand, if that's me now, I'm going to brace myself on the ironing board, but I was stood sort of like this. That's as sort of straight as I could get standing, and that hurt. And I don't want to stand up too long anyway because of my knees. So I just thought, you know what, I've just got to lie down. And I did it in such a way that I had a really small bit of padding in the small of my back, and then I had quite a big padding under my knees as a sort of knee break. So actually, if this is my body, that's my legs, by bringing up my thighs, and that's a continuation of my leg, it just helps with all the muscles around the back here. It just helps to kind of sit them down. And the idea being that they just have a chance. They're not doing any work. Everything is completely supported by the bed and all the cushions and the padding I did, so the muscles can just stop pulling, stop spasming. So yeah, it was boring, but there we go. But in the meantime, I did have some posts, and I've got to say as well, just all my friends, they're so lovely, local friends. I mean, literally every day I was getting texts saying, do you need anything? Do you need some shopping? It's funny, isn't it? That's the thing we all offer each other, isn't it? Can I do your shopping for you? I think especially if we know someone's got a bad back or say a bad leg or whatever, let me do your shopping for you. The thing is, I was explaining this to Gary because he was one that offered, and I said, there's no point because I can't get down the stairs to open the street door to, you know, let you in to bring the shopping up, or even, you know, for me to, I can't get down the stairs, so no point. But also, I didn't need any shopping. I mean, that's the great thing about, you know, living this sort of grow your own life is I've got masses of food in the house. You know, in terms of, I've got all the veggies still, squash, onions, tomatoes, myriad beans, peppers. Is that all I've got left? That's plenty to be getting on with. And I've got lots of each of those. Plus, of course, I've got a good store of rice and lentils, and I think I've got a little bit of quinoa left. The quinoa is one I was trying for the first time. It's actually grown in Britain. Yay! But anyway, yeah, so I've got plenty of food. What I really needed when my back was done in was, but of course it would take up too much time and I would not want someone to do it, is, can someone do my cooking for me? Never mind the shopping. No, don't do the shopping. Can you get up here and cook for me, please? But also change my bed. I really wanted, because I'd been in the bed so long, I really, really, really wanted fresh sheets on it. I still haven't changed the bed. I mean, it really could do with it, but just not risking any funny movements. And of course, on the far side of my bed, for tucking the sheet under the mattress, it's really awkward. Don't be awkward, stay like this. It's awkward because of where the eaves come down. Anyway, yeah. But I did get some post while all that was going on. So, I don't think I've pressed that brilliantly well. This is, do you remember, I think I showed this last time, these are these little guest towels that Carolyn sent. There was nothing wrong with them when Carolyn, you know, they were clean when Carolyn sent. I'm not washing these because I think you're rank, Carolyn, of course not. It's just habit. I wash, give everything a bit of a press. Then this is going to go into my excess linens trunk, the vintage linen ones, where they're going to be made into something else eventually. But yeah, just before putting them, oh la la, bend your knees, before putting anything away, I'll always wash and press it anyway, and then give it a really jolly good airing. So, lovely card, and oh, great chatty letter from Karen, thank you. Normally I put these on my chair, but I've covered my chair up. And then another lovely card from Anita. Oh, that's quite comfy actually. Let me just lean here for a second. This gorgeous card from Anita. You see it's like a pier. I've just read the back. I didn't even notice what it said on the back. It's Whitby. Whitby is in North Yorkshire. I know some of you are going to know it because you know the area, you'll have been there. Some of you may know Whitby from literature. It's where Dracula's ship lands when he comes all the way over from Transylvania. Lands in the UK, but isn't that an inviting walk? Don't you want to walk along that? Is it a pier? I guess it's a pier, yeah. So that was lovely. Thank you. Oh, I also had, but they're in my granny trolley waiting for, that was to remind me, they're in my granny trolley waiting for me to take them to the garden, is our lovely Joanna. Thank you so much, lovely. Sent me three new pairs of gardening gloves. Woo! I was really in need of them. I've got my pink pair and my green pair, but the last 2 times I've been in the garden, I've had a green one on and a pink one on. That one's not got a hole and that one's not got a hole. Each pair has got one hole in the opposite hand, which is weird. You think you get the same hole in the same hand. Or, yeah, it was each, the green one, it was the left hand index finger, and the pink one, it was the right hand index finger. Or the other way around, I can't remember. But anyway, you would think I'd wear them out in the same place on the same hand, wouldn't you? But anyway, yes. So lovely gloves appeared in the post. Thank you, lovely. I also had a really ridiculous piece of post. I put it here to remind me because, I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this. This is from Southern Water, the water company. Now, that is not the water company I use. That's the water company that was the water supply for Auntie Teapot's house. Now, as you can imagine, the water's not been getting used. There's no one there. And the last time I was at the house, now, do you remember I talked about the fact that there was something wrong with the electricity meter? And I kept arguing. I'd been arguing with them for sort of 3 years or so, way before COVID. And they kept saying, no, it's just an old lady, high usage, blah, blah, blah. And then I insisted on having a smart meter fitted. And then as soon as that was fitted, they could see straight away they had been overcharging. I couldn't get a refund for all the years, but they went back 1 year, and refunded us the best part of £1,000. Now, I've got to say, it was an absolute battle to get that, and I mean, God knows how many hours I spent on the phone over the years, and letter writing and all this kind of stuff. But it just shows, you know, if you truly believe something's wrong, don't give up when the company tell you, oh, you're wrong, we're right, you're wrong. Anyway, so that was great. Something similar had been going on with the water meter as well, because before COVID, BC, obviously I was down there every week, but usually in the last week of the month when I was down there, I'd do all the meter readings. And the water meter was like, I was convinced it was wrong. I'm convinced, I'm getting really hot now because of the steam. I was convinced we weren't using that much water because, frankly, you know, she just has a little flannel wash, bed bath type wash. I would have the occasional shower. Obviously the loo gets flushed occasionally, but really, really low usage. Anyway, that one I've been fighting as well. And the very last time that I was at the house was back in October. I was meeting up with a charity basically to clear the last of some bits of furniture and some electricals for them to redistribute. Brilliant. And on that day I took a meter reading, and then, excuse me, I'm getting so warm. I mean, it's warm anyway, thank goodness, because we can turn the heating off. The long and the short of it is, bendy knees. I asked a neighbour to check, and then I got another water bill, and I said, no, there's no one there, there's no water usage, here's the proof, blah, blah, blah. And they finally conceded too, so I think it was sometime in December, I got another refund. Yay, it's more money to put into the pot to disseminate amongst the rellies. Brilliant. And I'd spoken to someone, I'm going to tell you about this cloth in a minute. I spoke to someone, you know, in billing or whatever, back in December, because by now, because there was this big query, there were no more payments being taken from my account, but I kept the direct debit open because I needed the direct debit open to receive the credit back from them into. Does that make sense? You're still with me? So I got a bill, well, not a bill, I got this letter, a demand, a couple of days ago. Well, I got it yesterday. I don't know how long it's been sat down on the doormat because I haven't been downstairs. This letter, demandy thing, it says something along the lines of immediate action needed. We believe there has been a mistake because your direct debit order has been cancelled. Your bank has cancelled it. You need to reinstate it. In the meantime, please use the paying in slip below that's attached to pay your outstanding balance. So that's the bits I read at first, and I thought, idiots, I don't have an outstanding balance. I've closed the account. I no longer have an account with you people. You know, we don't have water from you, what have you. And then I looked at what they billed me for the exact sum of £0 and 0 pence. What an absolute bunch of idiots. They've sent me a bill for no money. They're demanding that I immediately pay no money. I mean, I'm sure these things are sort of like computer generated, what have you. But even so, look, that's a waste of a letter, a waste of postage. And also, it kind of just doesn't give you much faith in these companies, does it? When all that time that I was saying, you've billed me incorrectly, and they'll go, no, we haven't, no, we haven't, no, we haven't. And now they've sent me a bill for £0. It's like, well, really, really don't have much faith in you. I mean, it's one of those, as I like to say, the arse ain't speaking to the elbow. Somewhere along the line, someone hasn't passed a message on to someone else. Idiots. Absolute waste of time. Anyway, I didn't mean to rant. Well, I'm not really ranting, I'm just incredulous, to be honest. I was nearly ranting when I first opened it, and they were saying, you need to pay immediately. I was like, I'm not paying you anything. Anyway, it's all done. All of that is now wrapped up, and I've managed to, you know, see to everyone in the family. It's all done. There's one very last job to do, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, which I'm really looking forward to. So, back to life here. So last Friday, coming onto the fabric now, I thought thought my back was feeling a bit better. I'm just going to have another little lean. I might sound like I'm a little bit breathless today. It's nothing to worry about. I'm not breathless in terms of, you know, anything wrong with my chest. I'm a little bit breathless just because I'm kind of going shallow breathing from pain. I'm sure any of you who've had pain will know that. So please, no concerns about my chest. It's all looking good. So, I decided to go and stretch my legs. Popped into the bank. Popped into the post office with some cards with the Auntie Teapot's cheques enclosed to send them whizzing all over the world, the ones that I couldn't do electronically. What else was I doing? Oh yeah, I had to go to the chemist to pick up my new prescription. Hopefully it's the last one, it's the little inhalers that I've been using. And hopefully when I see the consultant in, it's not that long now, 2-3 weeks, hopefully they'll say I don't need it anymore, which would be great. They didn't have my prescription ready. So I thought, well, I'll go for a wander. I want to keep moving, but just really slowly, really gently. Bumped into a friend I hadn't seen for ages, which, this is weird. Does this ever happen to you? So it's one of my friends I haven't seen for ages, not since, before Christmas. Oh, reach. Hang on a tick. Yeah, I haven't seen her since before Christmas. So Thursday evening, I just sent her a text message, to her and her wife, but via her text, and I said, just texting you for no special reason, other than to say, hope you're both well, I miss seeing you, the weather's getting nicer, hopefully I'll see you a bit more soon, and, we'll all be out and about again, and I look forward to it. But anyway, yeah, hope you're both well. Just that kind of non-message, but the kind of message, to let someone know you're thinking of them. They're not forgotten. So the next day when I was on my little wander, there she was, she popped up. I manifested her. So that was really nice in the sunshine. And it was funny because she said, oh my goodness, how are you? And I said, so much better. I said, it still really hurts here. Da, da, da. I said, but, generally, much better. But it was weird because I hadn't told her about my back in that message. And she said, oh, and she kind of looked confused. And she said, Gary told me you'd been in hospital. And I said, oh yeah, that was before this. So I had to relay to her the whole palaver of this stupid hospital admission. So we chatted away and I said, anyway, never mind that, how are you? She said, well, absolutely fine compared to you. Honestly. You know what's kind of annoying about the back is I was feeling so good. I was feeling so energised again, and I was feeling really strong and healthy again, and you know I am anyway, but anyway, so bumped into her and I thought I'm going to walk back. I'm sweating cobs now. I'm going to walk to the back to the top of the hill to kill some time before the chemist, because I don't want to come home, come all the way up the stairs to then come all the way down again to go back to the chemist. So we've got a lovely bookshop at the top of the hill, sells new books, and I'll always have a little look in there for, you know, sort of birthday presents. Not necessarily even a present, but they do beautiful cards and things. So there was something in the window that I thought, ooh, that might do for my sister. Went and had a look, not quite right. And then the charity shop is next door, my favourite charity shop, so I popped in there. Trying not to buy any books for myself. I still haven't bought any books for myself this year. Just having a little browse around. I found this fabric. I picked it up and then I thought, they're charging too much for it, that's too expensive. So anyway, I had a little chat with the guy who does the books in there, left empty-handed. I'm boiling, I have to open the window. Anyway, half an hour later I was back in there and I picked it up because I just love it. I thought I can't resist it. I'm going to have to show you close up because, well, firstly, the colours. Hang on, let me bring it closer because the light will bleach it out. The colours, look at that. But can you see what it is? Look, an octopus. Oh my goodness, how fantastic is that? When did you ever see fabric that had an octopus on it that wasn't like, you know, like a kiddie cartoony octopus? Isn't that gorgeous? So it's not terribly deep. It's probably the equivalent of 2 fat quarters. But yeah, it was a bit expensive, but it's so gorgeous. I just had to have it. Crikey, I was so hot, I had to stop a minute and take my vest off. I'm still in a vest. Well, I think actually the vest days are numbered with the way the weather's going. Yeah, but that fabric, I just think it's gorgeous, and well, I'm attracted to the colours, and I love that thing of when you go in to look at it more closely, you realise the octopus is there, which is kind of bonkers, and I love a bit of bonkers. The only thing is, I don't know who the fabric is by. When you know, often when you get your remnant, this is the selvage, you'll get there's the dye numbers along the side, and you'll quite often see on the side the name of the fabric, quite often the maker. Sometimes you won't see the maker, but the name is enough. I can Google the name of the fabric and find out who the maker is. I would love to know. I mean, it's kind of, there's something very Art Nouveau about it, and that makes me think of Liberty. It kind of looks a bit Liberty. I didn't think to look at theirs. But, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the fabric's by. I love it. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm going to use it for yet. That doesn't matter, but it's one of those things when you see something that's just, yeah, it's a little bit different, isn't it? I just had to have it. So now, oh my goodness, I've got to tell you this as well. So on the way, this made me laugh. Tiny little moment of my day, but it made me laugh, and I hope it will you too. I'm on my way back down the hill now to come back to the chemist. And as I come along the road, it's a main road, there's a little side turning, and it sort of takes you to the train station. So I don't know whether this person had got off a train, a man, and come up onto our high street, or whether he just lives down that road. But as I was coming down the hill, a guy was coming out of this side turning and turning onto the road, going in the direction that I was going in, just a little bit ahead of me. But as he came out of the side turning, he's got in his hands like this, walking along in his hands, he's got a pair of shoes in each hand, but they were the most sparkly, bejewelled high heels you could ever imagine. I mean, they were beyond bling. They were like, whoa, I could hardly look at them. And I thought, my first thought was, oh, we've got a drag queen in the herd. They're so ridiculously sparkly. And he was walking slightly ahead of me, and I was looking at the shoes, and I was like, looking at his feet, I was thinking, they're far too small for him. Oh, boring, it must be for his girlfriend or missus or whatever. Or maybe he's got a really small-footed male partner who's a queen. I don't know, but as he was walking along, he was kind of looking up at all the buildings, and I realised, because I live near a cobbler, he's looking for the address. So he's only a couple of metres in front of me, so I said, and there's not really anyone else in the street, I said, are you looking for the cobbler? And as he turned around to face me, I said, or are you looking for the dance hall? And he sort of went, huh? Oh, the cobbler. And I said, it's just 4 doors along where the orange awning is. And he went, thanks very much. And then he turned back to me and he went, yeah, that's for the dance tonight. Loved it. It just was so incongruous because he was quite a butch, rugged guy, you know, quite a bit of beard going on. And not that a queen can't have a beard, but yeah, it tickled me. Little things like that tickle me. So when it got to Saturday and I was thinking, after I've been doing all this sort of photographing and other stuff, and I thought, oh, my back's hurting, I'd kind of been hoping that I could get back to the garden on Monday, the Monday that's now gone, and just do something really gentle, like, oh, this is ridiculous, I've brought a clean hanky, hang on, to mop my brow. I want to open all the windows to let some air in, but it'll be too noisy. It's like, I'm a lady. I'm not a lady, I'm sweating too much. But it was evident by Saturday afternoon that there was no way I was going to get to the garden on Monday. So, excuse me, I messaged my friend Gary and said, yeah, it must have been about 5 o'clock on the Saturday. I messaged him and I said, look, really sorry to bother you. No, I don't need any shopping or anything like that. But could you please put a bit of water on my cold frame seedlings? Because this time last year, when I had my lovely peas and sweet peas on the go, the peas were under the covered bit of cold frame. The sweet peas were slightly under the open window, so the rain landed. But all my peas died because I was away for a month, they fried. My cold frame was open. I'd left it open on my last visit in order to get them hardened off because I planned to plant them out this week. Never mind. You know, it's just, let's just have a big capital letters, never mind, for the whole of these last 2 weeks. Anyway, so, you know, I knew the window was open, but because we'd had so much sunshine, I was thinking, they're going to have fried. Or, you know, dried, gotten very, very dry. So I thought, you know what, I'll ask Gary because he's, you know, he gets down to the plot most days. Sorry, don't do it on your sleeve, dirty girl. Dirty girl. Yeah, he gets to the garden most days and he lives really close. In fact, the end of his garden, which I'm going to come on to in a minute, almost touches the allotment. He's about half a house away from backing onto the allotments. So I got a message back, sort of about half an hour later. He'd only seen my text a bit later. He said, oh no, I've just got back. Sorry, I've only just seen your message. I'll do it tomorrow. And I said, look, honestly, there's no rush. Just, you know, any time sort of in the next couple of days would be great. Please don't go there just for my sweet peas. But yeah, when you're next down, he messaged back to say, will do, I'll message you when I've done it, let you know it's done. Thank you. And then one more message, he's always got to have the last word. Are you sure you don't need any shopping or anything? No, I'm fine. And then the next day, and I realised I need to go back to him and ask him a bit more about this story. So on the Sunday, yeah, it was Sunday by then, I got a message from him quite late. It's about 8 in the evening. I'd already been in bed for hours and I was kind of in and out of sleep and just letting my body go with the flow, as it were. sleep or not. And he said, he messaged to say, really late getting back to you. Sorry for that. Just to let you know, I have watered the peas, but we've had a bit of a drama today. So it turns out, I knew this was in the offing anyway, Gary's having his entire garden fence replaced. They've been doing quite a lot of work on the house, just, you know, they've lived there for, God, I don't know, 30 years? I'm trying to think how old his wife is, because she's younger than him. Yeah, it's about 30 years. Anyway, so they've been doing a lot of, you know, let's give the house a lot of, I mean, he always has given it attention. He's a builder and decorator by trade. But anyway, doesn't matter. Get on with it, Vivi. Do the fence. Now the thing is, and it's another reason why I keep saying no to Gary's offers of help, he's also in pain. He's got something going on. So because for this fence, he's actually hired people in to do it rather than do it himself, which is kind of over the years been unheard of for Gary. But yeah, he just decided it's just too big a job with his current physical stuff. So he'd hired people in to do it. Brilliant. You know what? You've worked hard all your life, you've saved all your life, you've been frugal all your life. Now is the time to use some of that money you've saved to save yourself the physical pain of doing a job. So the guys had been around. The first job was to obviously dismantle and take away all the old fence and sort of dig down some of the beds, get the hot, because the land was a bit wavy, get it sort of levelled. And then the big job would be to dig out footings for all the new posts. And that's where things got a little bit exciting, apparently. So, the guys were digging down, and they hit something, found something that they really shouldn't have done. So, Gary's road that day, and it's the same road that my friend Kai lives on, and my friend, I don't know if I told you the story about my friend with the dog and me going in the shop for the sausages and not knowing what I was doing. That friend, she lives on the same road. Got tons of friends on that road. For the day, their whole road was cordoned off by the police, and the bomb squad were called in. What do they call bomb disposal? Second World War bomb in the garden. Which I should say is not unusual in London. You know, often when building sites happen, they'll find some unexploded ordnance. I mean, it doesn't happen as often these days as it once used to. But yeah, so the guys digging out the footings found, it turned out it wasn't a bomb. But, you know, they thought it was, so the police were called in, they came screeching down, seal the whole road off, evacuate all the houses, bomb disposal unit in. It wasn't a bomb. So, but this was all going backwards and forwards in text messages on Sunday night, and I was a bit out of it. So I haven't caught up with Gary since to say what was it they found. I mean, who cares? But yeah, drama. Seriously, you would think, wouldn't you? I made that, the last video, I made that actually on the Tuesday morning. It didn't go out until the Friday evening, but, and so here we are, this is now 9 days later. You'd think in the space of 9 days of pretty much lying on my back that I'd have nothing to share with you, wouldn't you? No chance, always something. Yeah, I was mentioning the iron right at the beginning and then I forgot. I don't know, I think this is going to be another of those yakety ones. Have you got some knitting on the... Oh, knitting! I must mention that as well. Get something on the go. The iron first. So, yeah, I've had the iron 36 years. That's ridiculous, isn't it? But, you know what? It's a good iron. It works. There's not... Well, I was going to say there's nothing wrong with it. A bit of fraying, but I've patched that up and... It feels nice in my hand, and I remember about, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. What had I gone to look for? I think I'd gone to look for a food blender. That's it, because my other one, the motor blew up. It turned out my mum had a spare that she gave to me, so I didn't need to buy one at the time. But I was in one of those big electrical appliances stores, you know, the vast ones. And on my way to look at the blenders, I'd gone past the irons. And the person I was with at the time said, "Oh, for goodness sakes, you need a new iron. Your old iron it's ancient, it's horrible, it's grotty." Then there's me like, "There's nothing wrong with it, it works." You know, as far as I'm concerned, it works. I ain't getting rid of it till it won't work. But, so I had a look. Firstly, holy guacamole, have you seen how expensive irons are? They were like 100 quid, some of them more. I ain't spending 100 quid, I don't need to. I ain't doing it. Suddenly going a bit Catherine Tate, I ain't having it. So firstly I was shocked at the price, but I thought, well, you know, suck it up, Buttercup, if that's what they cost. So I sort of picked a few up. I didn't like any of them. They all felt so light and flimsy and plasticky. And is that how they all are these days? I don't know. Because this one is quite heavy. Do you know what? I should weigh it and then compare it with the cost of modern irons in the shops. I mean, modern, this is only 36 years old. It's not exactly, well, it kind of is vintage, isn't it? But yeah, I just found them all really light and flimsy feeling. And one of the great things about this, because it is so heavy, I don't really have to do a lot of effort to press. But yeah, I think I may, I'll think about it. Maybe in a couple of years I'll get a new one. But it made me think, I wonder if you've got something electrical that is ancient that you're still using. Oh, go on, share. What have you got that you're still using? You see, I have a feeling as well that things 36, 40 years ago, I think they were just made. I sound like a right old fuddy-duddy now. They were made to last. They were made better in my day. I don't know why I'm using that voice. Yeah, I just think things are made better and made to last. Oh, and on the note of the printer, I am going to get a printer because I know someone had mentioned going to the library to do my printing, 10p a sheet or something, but of course it's a £3 bus fare. And I was thinking, do I really, you know, how much do I use my printer? And I had some orders in for the shop over the weekend, and thank you to everybody who ordered and everyone who was really patient with me, because I only went out yesterday. But one of them needed a printed label. It's a courier, and I had to print the label. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet. I have an emergency fund for things like the computer, the sewing machine, my camera, all that kind of electrical equipment that I use for generating an income. I have a little fund that I build. Well, I emptied that fund last year when I was paying for the lease. I completely emptied it, every single penny. But I have been building it back up again. I mean, literally, you know, anything over, when I get money from, say, YouTube or sewing, anything over my bills amount each month, it all gets siphoned into savings. So I had the money. So yeah, new printer is on its way. Should be here this afternoon, in fact. Oh, the joy of setting up another gadget. Can't stand all that. But anyway, that's done, so that's good. Now, before I forget, I've got a couple of little questions here because I didn't want to forget. I've got 2 questions for you, and hopefully you'll have the answers. Firstly, do you remember my lovely friends M&M on the allotment? When did they leave? 18 months or... is that long? 15, 16 months ago. They left, they've emigrated to Norway. Hello, Norwegian friends. Now, I know that some of you are Norwegian. Honestly, I'm sweating like a... I don't know how anyone could work in a laundry. Yeah, they moved to Oslo. And Mark just messaged me And I racked my brain and answered with my answers, and then I suddenly thought, oh, I can ask you guys, because I know that some of you are from Norway. I don't know whether you're near Oslo, but Mark was saying that the snow is finally melting. Yay! So his attention is turning towards growing, but he thinks it's going to be quite a short season. What varieties of tomatoes would I recommend for a short season? So you see, most of my growing is over quite a long season. I mentioned a couple of things to him, but then I thought, I'm going to ask an expert, ask a friend, call a friend. What's that catchphrase in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Call a friend? Yeah, phone a friend. Well, think of this as me phoning a friend. Any Norwegians out there, what tomato variety would you recommend for growing in or near Oslo that's quick, that hurt a bit, quick to mature, because that's what they're after. Answers below, not on a postcard. Postcard will take too long, although postcards are lovely. And then I've got another one to ask, and this may be a case of, please can someone photocopy and send to me? I have been looking for ages for something for my sister. Now, the charity shop where I got the fabric, they end up with loads of patterns, dress patterns and knitting patterns. The other day, they had dress patterns in there. One was for 2 medieval knights outfits, and the other was for a massive sort of 18 sort of 40s, huge crinoline, almost, is it sort of Civil War era look? Anyway, crazy. So I've been looking for ages for a knitting pattern, but it's very, very specific. And I wrote down some details because I've done the translation of the needle sizes, because that's the important bit. I know that my sister really wants to knit herself. Okay, here are the details. So if any of you have got a pattern that's suitable, would you please photocopy it and send it to me? I will cover postage, whatever. But it needs to be a V-neck cardigan, specifically with a raglan sleeve, so no set-in sleeves, a raglan sleeve. But here's the thing, it needs to go on needles. So the modern equivalent size is 3.75. Is that millimetres? I don't knit. So that's the new UK size. So the old UK size is size 9 needles, or in the US, why do they all have different numbers? It's size 5 needles. So if anyone has got a V-necked cardigan with a raglan sleeve knitting pattern for a size 3.75 needle, old money a size 9, US money a size 5. Oh, if you could, like I said, if you could photocopy it and get it to me, I would love to be able to surprise my sister with it. I've just realised I've been talking for ages and on the subject of my sister, so we'll use this little bit of news to wrap things up. So, I was mentioning how, and then I'm going to, I don't know whether to sit or lie. I just need to change position a little bit though. Yes, I was mentioning how finally wrapped up all of Auntie Teapot's affairs, but there's one last job to do. I'm going to get emotional, but it's nice emotions. She's still down there, down in Westgate in Kent, Westgate-on-Sea. So, my sister and I had talked about this anyway, that we'll wait till the summer when it's a nice day, and the idea being that my sister would come down to London and stay a couple of days with me, but we'd take a day trip down to Westgate, collect Auntie Teapot, take her to the beach for one last time, buy her an ice cream, I'll eat it on her behalf, I might have a sneaky pint at the pub on the beach, and then the plan is then my sister's going to take her on the long journey back up north, all the way up to North Yorkshire, where my cousin has a wood, because my cousin works in wood, and in his wood there's a little area, a little bluebell wood set aside, and that's where my grandma is, and my aunt is, my mum's sister, and it was Auntie Teapot's wish to go and join them all in the woods up there. So it's my sister's neck of the woods too, so we'll both go and collect her from Westgate, bring her back to London together, and then she's going to have one last little peek at London before she heads up north. And then that will be it. She'll have her final resting place in the woods with my aunt and my grandma, and I think that will be absolutely lovely. So that was the plan for my sister. It's going to come down here, but we've changed it slightly, and I'm really excited about it because in the last few years when I was going down to Auntie Teapot's, it used to be that, you know, let's say I'd go down there for 3 or 4 days at a time. You know, I'd get her up in the morning, breakfast, we'll have breakfast together, get her set up for the day. I might then go and do some of the gardening, come back in for lunch, and in the afternoon she'd quite often have a nap, and she'll say to me, you know, off you go. So I'd, you know, go to the beach, you know, get out and about a bit. But in the last few years, that just, you know, stopped happening, because if she was having her nap, I'd do the cleaning, laundry, do the bed change, what have you. So just haven't really, you know, in the last few years it's been a case of get off the train, do the shopping, get to her house, and then, you know, I'm there. No time at the beach, whatever. So what my sister suggested, and we're gonna do it, I'm gonna have a little mini holiday. I'm gonna have a 4-day holiday this year. Oh my goodness. So it'll be the first, it'll be my, oh my goodness, it will be 5 years since we went to France for a week. That's the last time I had a week off. So it's not quite going to be quite a week off, but 4 days. And my sister's organised this bit already. I need to check online to have a look. But an Airbnb, because that's what everyone does these days, isn't it? In Canterbury. Now, many of you will have heard of Canterbury, at least for the Canterbury Tales, Chaucer, the Pilgrim's Tales. I haven't been to Canterbury as a tourist, you know, for sort of walking around and looking at the cathedral and that sort of thing. I was trying to remember, and I'm remembering it by which boyfriend I was with at the time. So the last time I was there was the early 90s, so it's nearly 30 years. So great, we'll have a lovely day in Canterbury. So obviously one of the days is going to be from Canterbury over to Westgate to get Auntie Teapot. So she's going to have one whole day. But we'll have hopefully a day in Canterbury, just mooching, going and following those pilgrims around. And I don't know if she's going to fancy it, but I would love to get down to Dungeness. I love Dungeness. It's the weirdest, bleakest, wildest, oddest place you can imagine. It's like a sort of a set for a Doctor Who episode. It's a huge shingle beach, windswept. Oh my goodness, the wind comes straight in off the North Sea. There's no houses to break up the wind. There are wooden huts and shacks on the beach. More of that in a second. But the big thing about Dungeness is the backdrop is a socking great nuclear power station. I mean, it's ugly. It's ugly, of course it is. But the beach, the shingle, there's this weird, really odd beauty about it. I love it. Anyone who has ever heard about or read about or seen pictures of Derek Jarman's garden, that's where it is. So you may be familiar with that black hut. I guess they were all fishermen's huts. Black hut with the yellow window trims and his lovely shingle garden. I mean, how anything grows there, I don't know. So I'd love it if she fancies not necessarily a whole day, but you know, even a morning on Dungeness, that would be great. She fancies spending some time in Whitstable. That's fine by me too, because that's one of the stations, one of the towns I go through on my way to Auntie Teapot's, seaside town. And again, it's somewhere I haven't been for, you know, just a day out for mooching and kicking my heels back for ages. So I'm not into seafood, I don't eat seafood, but my sister loves her kind of, is it mussels? Moule. I remember we were in the south of France, she ordered moule one night and there's a socking great mountain of moule arrived and her eyes went doing. She's very happy. Never mind pig in mud, it was cis in moule. So yeah, I need to reorganise my drying rack. I'm really excited about that. I didn't want to be on my own when I went to collect Auntie Teapot. I don't know why, I just knew I didn't want to be on my own, so I'd suggested it to my sis and she was completely up for it. But now it's morphed into a little holiday. And you know, we like the same kind of things, my sister and I. We like a mooch, we like a sit and a watch, we love the seaside, both of us. So I can't think of a better way, I'm going to get emotional now, but I can't think of a better way of rounding everything off for Auntie Teapot than for her and me and my sister to have a holiday by the beach. That sounds really weird, you know what I mean. Yeah, I can't think of anything better. You know, I'm sure it's the kind of plan that if she was alive still and I discussed it with her, she would say, absolutely, absolutely. And she'd probably start naming and listing places for us to go and have a little look at. So yeah, can't wait. That is not going to be until the summer, sometime in July. So again, it'd be great because it's my birthday and my sister's birthday. We're only 2 days apart. So it can be a bit of a birthday celebration too. And this is so perfect, it won't be on our actual birthday, but Auntie Teapot, she had this bit of a tradition. There were so many birthdays to remember and she couldn't possibly remember all of them, you know. She had, what was it, eight nieces and nephews. That's my mum's generation. So then of my generation, there's got to be, I think there's about 24, 25 of us. And then my nephew's generation, there's no way she could keep track. So Auntie Teapot always sent unbirthday cards. So you might get a card on April the 2nd and it would just say, happy unbirthday. And that was your birthday card from Auntie Teapot. So while we're down there, we can have a very happy unbirthday with Auntie Teapot too. Can't wait. I don't know if I'll take my camera or not, we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there because I need to sit down and I've probably been gassing for ages and ages and ages and I've got one more big piece of fabric to press. It's going to take me a while and I need to sort somewhere to hang it so it doesn't get too creased once I've hung it. So I'm going to get on with and do that. See you again soon, I hope. I just need to do a little bit of wriggling. I'm not sure how it's going to be for gardening in the next week or so. I honestly don't know. But those indoor seeds that I kept mentioning, they really need to get underway. So I think that is probably something I can get on with because I've got a little amount of compost. It won't be too much to pick it up and get it up onto the counter carefully. So maybe that's what we'll do the next time I see you. So until then, please, lovelies, take care of yourself. Just be careful how you're bending over to pick up a shoe or a bottle of shampoo or making your bed, whatever it is. Just think twice before you move and don't end up wasting 2 weeks looking at sunshine through a pane of glass. Never mind. All right, lovelies, see you all again soon. Cheerio.